Imagine waking up and the ground everywhere starts shaking at the same time. Then the oceans rumble, mountains crack open, and the sky turns into a giant cloud of fire and smoke. That is what would happen if Earth decided to open all its volcanoes at once. Big ones, tiny ones, hidden ones under the sea, and the supervolcanoes too. This would turn our planet into one huge blasting furnace. So what happens next? So here's the real question. If this is just the first minute, what happens next when all volcanoes on Earth blow at once? Earth has more than 600 active volcanoes on land, and thousands of underwater volcanoes hiding below the surface. Many are harmless most days. Some erupt once in a century. Others have been sleeping for thousands of years. But in this scenario, every single one erupts together. Quiet ones, loud ones, underwater ones, and the supervolcanoes too. What happens when the entire crust of Earth becomes a giant pressure valve? Let us start with the first 10 seconds. Shockwaves blast through the ground faster than a sound wave. Streets crack, power poles fall. Buildings near volcanoes collapse before lava even appears. Roads bend like soft rubber. You would feel the ground shaking in places that have never felt quakes before. The second shock comes from the air. Each eruption releases pressure equal to several nuclear explosions. Windows shatter everywhere. Air blasts knock people down in cities far from volcanoes. Now something terrifying happens in the sky. Usually one volcano sends a tall ash column upward, but now imagine hundreds. Each ash column punches into the sky like a giant spear of smoke. Some reach 20 kilometers high. Then two shocking things occur. The sunlight fades almost instantly. The sky turns a dark gray, even where the nearest volcano is thousands of kilometers away. How long could you survive if daytime turned into permanent nights? Let us move to the oceans. This is where things get worse. Most people forget that many volcanoes live under the sea. When all of them erupt at once, water above them superheats. Steam explosions burst through the surface like giant geysers. Underwater shockwaves travel faster and farther than those in the air. And here are two shocking effects. Entire fleets of ships could flip from underwater blasts, and massive tsunamis race outward in every direction, fast enough to reach coastlines in minutes. What happens when every ocean sends a tsunami toward every coast at the same time? Now the volcanoes that erupt frequently join in. Etna, Stromboli, Kilauea, Popocatépetl, and many more shoot fountains of lava skyward. But something even more dangerous wakes up. The quiet volcanoes, the ones that have not erupted for hundreds or thousands of years. These are unstable. Pressure has built up for centuries. When they blow, they explode violently. Two shocking results. Entire mountaintops blast off in 1 second, and burning rocks rain down like a storm of fire. Now we talk about the true monsters, the supervolcanoes. Yellowstone, Toba, Taupo, Campiflegre. These giants do not erupt politely. They do not explode upward like normal volcanoes. They tear the land open. Yellowstone erupts first in this chain. The entire ground above the magma chamber swells, splits, and then detonates. A giant column of burning ash shoots upward so fast it pierces the stratosphere. Then pyroclastic flows, which are burning clouds of gas and rock, burst from the crater. They move faster than racing cars. Anyone caught in them would be burned and buried instantly. If Yellowstone alone can destroy half a continent, what happens when all supervolcanoes erupt together? Now we move to Toba in Indonesia. Last time it erupted, humans almost vanished. This time, it erupts with even greater force because every volcano around it is erupting too. The blast shakes the entire Indian Ocean. Ash falls like black snow across Asia and Africa. It covers farmlands so deeply that nothing can grow. Two shocking outcomes. Sunlight in those regions drops close to zero, and global temperatures fall sharply in a matter of days. And we are still not done. Every volcano in the Pacific Ring of Fire erupts at once. This ring stretches from South America to North America, across Japan, the Philippines, and down to New Zealand. In this moment, the Ring of Fire becomes a ring of burning mountains. Molten rivers of lava pour across the land. Ash clouds mix and combine. The eruptions echo like thunder across half the world. If one eruption can shut down air travel, what happens when the whole planet's sky fills with ash? Now let us discuss gases. Volcanoes release sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and ash. When all volcanoes erupt together, the atmosphere fills with these gases at a speed never seen before. Two shocking effects follow. Sulfur dioxide forms a thick layer high above the clouds, blocking the sun. Carbon dioxide traps heat long after the sky clears, but in the short term, blocking sunlight cools the earth. The temperature begins to fall sharply. Cold air mixes with hot ash clouds, creating storms of lightning that look like the sky is exploding. How long can plants live if sunlight disappears for months? As lava covers the ground, forests catch fire instantly. Villages and towns vanish under molten rock. Lava flows release even more gas and add to the choking ash in the sky. Two shocking consequences. Lava creates new land while destroying everything old, and the world begins to smell like sulfur, smoke, and burning earth. Now comes volcanic winter. The ash blocks sunlight for months or even years. Without sunlight, crops fail, plants die, temperatures crash. This is not winter. This is a global freeze. Two shocking effects. Food production collapses everywhere, and hunger spreads faster than any rescue system can respond. What happens when 7 billion people need food at the same time and almost no crops can grow? Let us jump back to the oceans again. Underwater volcanoes erupt non-stop. They release huge amounts of heat and carbon dioxide into the water. The water expands and becomes lighter. Massive bubbles rise and flip shifts. Parts of the ocean lose oxygen completely. Life dies there. Coral reefs bleach and crumble. Fish populations drop fast. Two shocking issues follow. Some ocean zones become dead forever, and the global food chain breaks. But then something worse happens. Volcanoes under the ice sheets in Antarctica and Greenland erupt too. These eruptions melt huge amounts of ice quickly. Sea levels begin to rise fast. Two shocking outcomes. Coastal cities flood permanently, and giant ice blocks break and float away. At this point, Earth looks nothing like the world we know. Ash blankets entire continents like a thick gray snow. Lava spreads across the land and cools into sharp new mountains that did not exist yesterday. The sky flashes nonstop with lightning trapped inside giant ash clouds. The oceans rise and fall with violent tsunamis that hit coastlines again and again. The air is filled with choking dust, so thick that people need masks just to breathe. Two shocking consequences follow. Clean water becomes rare because ash mixes with every river, and electricity networks fail when the heavy ash burns wires and shuts down power stations. Animals suffer too. Birds cannot fly through the thick ash. Insects die from toxic gas. Forests burn until nothing green is left. Farmlands vanish under layers of ash meters deep. Even the oceans suffer because sunlight cannot reach the water. Plants and fish begin to die. The food chain collapses fast. Two shocking results appear. Millions of species face extinction, and large parts of Earth fall silent. Now think long term. After the eruptions slow, ash begins to fall from the sky. Sunlight returns slowly, but the world stays cold for many years. Then something worse happens. All the carbon dioxide from the eruption stays in the air. When the sky clears, this gas traps heat. The world warms too fast. Two shocking outcomes. Ice caps melt completely, and sea levels rise so high that entire countries vanish underwater. But eventually, the planet calms. The land cools, new landscapes form, forests regrow slowly, rivers change shape, new islands rise, Earth begins a new chapter. Humans, if they survive, must rebuild in a world with new climates, new coastlines, and new dangers. So, what is the final answer? If every volcano on Earth erupts at once, we face instant destruction, global fire, volcanic winter, mass extinction, rising oceans, collapsing food chains, and a slow recovery over decades or centuries. This is the closest thing to a full Earth reset. But here's the good news. Volcanoes do not talk, they do not plan, they do not erupt as a team. The chance of this happening is almost zero. In the end, our planet would take years to recover from an event like this. The sky would clear, the fires would fade, and new land would cool into solid rock. But the world that returns would not be the world we knew. Coastlines would shift, climates would change, and many species would be gone forever. Yet Earth has survived disasters before. It always finds a way to rebuild. The real question is, would we? And if this is what volcanoes can do, imagine what could happen if Earth's core itself began to break open. That is a story for another time.